Vincent Valentine boy, EX Turk boy, Horror Transformation boy, fuck Shimmer boy, Pro Lucretia boy. Let's get started on the Sturgeon Cerberus. Going down on Purge. Better watch yourself, Hojo. Anyone mess with Lucretia, you're gonna end up at the end of my Cerberus. I play no games. Got your goofy ass on my Hellmaster chainsaw. Don't even.
Hey, it's Noctis. Subscribe to Vincent Valentine EX Turk channel.
What's up, guys? Your king of the night, Vincent Valentine EX Turk, and I'm here to talk about Final Fantasy stuff. Now, again, I've been on and on with Final Fantasy and other content as well, but I'm getting back on track with this since episode Prompto is about to come out in like a week or so. Is it a week or two? But anyways, let's get to it. We're going to be talking about Ardyn's involvement. Now, I will apologize. Since I'm using Share Factory, I'm going to apologize in advance. I have episode Gladiolus footage, but I don't have episode Prompto footage. So, I apologize for that. It's in my PC, so I'm using Share Factory so you can see a webcam video of me. So, yeah. So, I apologize in advance. So, yeah, don't savagely hit the dislike button before you watch the rest of this video. Now let's get to the actual video. We're going to be talking about Ardyn's involvement in episode Gladiolus and Prompto. Starting with episode Gladiolus, since it was the first released episode. The premise of episode Gladiolus was him gaining his confidence back because he got defeated by Ravis when you first encounter Ravis when you're trying to get your regalia, which was all planned by Ardyn, because Ardyn could have stepped in any time before Ravis made a strike against Gladiolus. Ardyn has planned for Ravis to try and kill Noctis, thus causing Gladiolus to defend Noctis and then lose, thus pretty much making it so Gladiolus don't think he's worth anything, you know. So the ego crush was made by Ardyn, because Ardyn, even before, Ardyn has set Ravis to guard that one base. Now I can't remember what the name of the base was for the life of me. It's hard to remember each Niflheim base, but it was one of the Niflheim base earlier in the game when you get your regalia back by the Chocobo farm. So when you go get your, regalia, Ravis appears. It was planned by Ardyn. Ardyn planned for Noctis to come up there. Everything Ardyn did was actually premeditated to get Noctis to do what he wanted to do, such as get the ring, get the ring to have the full power of the Lucius Caelium lineage. But we're not going to talk about the whole game. We're talking about episode Gladiolus and episode Prompto. Now, Ravis beat Gladiolus, which angered Noctis. But Noctis was a lot weaker at the time. So Ravis could have easily killed Noctis, messing up Ardyn's plans. So then Ardyn stepped in when Gladiolus got defeated and say, that's enough of that. You could play a little bit later. Thus, crushing Gladiolus' ego would make Gladiolus divert from the party and go on his own adventure. And Core helps him get his confidence back, and Gladiolus gets his confidence back after defeating Gilgamesh. Which, again, I'm sorry, I'm not going to use episode Gladiolus footage in here because I don't have episode Prompto. So, with all of that, that's pretty much what happened there. So episode Gladiolus was only to mess up Gladiolus' confidence. And I'm sorry, I'm kind of repeating, but it's just that's kind of the point I'm trying to get in this video. So, and now let's get to episode Prompto, or should I say after chapter 10, when Prompto gets knocked off the train because Gladiolus turned himself into Prompto. It's switched out with this, switched with real Prompto, so Noctis actually knocked Prompto off the train, thinking he was knocking Ardyn off, and that's why Prompto feels betrayed. Worst of all, Ardyn has planned for Prompto to come to the Glacia area, where one of the biggest Magitech factories, or should I say, the very first Magitech factory, was ever created. Also, Prompto's home, where Prompto originally comes from. And this is why we have a much darker, grittier Prompto than we have had in any of the other games, and in the rest of the game. Which made Prompto a little bit more serious in Chapter 14, but that's another time. We're going to be talking about Episode Prompto. So, pretty much, Ardyn planned for Prompto to get knocked off the train, just so Prompto would be separated from the party, only to mess with Prompto's head. So Prompto was sent back to his horrible memories of what his original home was, the first Magitech factory in existence, and the Glacia area. Thus, he knew Versteal was working in that. Versteal was working in that same factory. Because each Niflheim Empire member guards at least one base or one Magitech factory, and Versteal guards the one in Glacia, which pretty much Ardyn has bought Prompto to his father, Versteal, just to screw with Prompto. After Prompto feeling betrayed at the end of Chapter 10 for Noctis going after Prompto, thinking he's Ardyn, he wanted to mess Prompto's mental stability so he would leave the group. Remember, Ardyn is the type of character that will do anything to make sure he gets what he wants, even push people all the way. That's exactly why Ardyn has killed Lunafreya. It's not just only the fact she has his job now, but it's also the fact that Lunafreya was in Ardyn's way, because Lunafreya could easily tell Noctis that there's nothing right about Ardyn, and Ardyn would feel threatened. Ardyn had to keep himself concealed until the time's right. Ardyn has planned a lot of the events in Final Fantasy 15. If you remember King's Glaive, where he told King Regis to get Lunafreya and Noctis wed, where he made Idolus create a fake peace treaty, thus Galaka killing King Regis. Ardyn is so much of a snake that even his voice actor says his character is a snake, and he is. Ardyn is the most evilest villain ever in Final Fantasy. I mean, Sephiroth plays head games, but Ardyn takes that to a new level. Ardyn is so much of a troll. He will play with your emotions. He will sit there and play with your emotions, just like he plays with the dead bodies at the end of the game during the last chapter. That's how twisted Ardyn is. So Ardyn would bring Prompto to his father, knowing that it messes with Prompto's head for the fact that Versteal did some pretty messed up things to his own son. And also the reason why most of Prompto's brothers and sisters died, because of all the experiments Versteal did. And that's going to mess with Prompto's head. So what it is that they're going to make things go a lot worse each episode. The first thing was to mess up Gladiolus' confidence. The second thing is to make Prompto lose hope in life. And that's exactly what Ardyn does, because Ardyn is that twisted. Ardyn is a twisted human being. He just don't care about anything or anyone. That's just exactly what he's like. That's exactly the character he is. So when it comes to trolling out of Final Fantasy villains, no one does it better than Ardyn, because he will play on your sympathies. It will play with your emotions, knowing that you feel this way. Gladiolus is a confident alpha male type. And for Ravis to beat him, it'd mess up his confidence and make him want to leave the group. For Prompto, Prompto's past memories will keep him, is to ensure he keep away from Noctis's group on the fact that that Prompto will think he's a traitor for being part demon and Magitech and part human. Even though Noctis is a good human being, and I mean Noctis is a very good person, and he doesn't really think that, but Ardyn thinks that it will make Noctis turn against Prompto. And then we don't know what's going to happen in episode Ignis, but we know that Ardyn's hands in whatever happens to Ignis. You know, my prediction still stands that Emperor Idolus is the one who fought Ignis and blinded Ignis. So we know that Ardyn has to be behind it. Just like with everything, each episode is going to have everything in the story covered in detail. Once you play all the episodes of each character and then go back and play Final Fantasy 15 again, everything will start to make sense. Now, you have to play Final Fantasy 15 twice in order to get it. In fact, I played it 3 times to get it. You know, with New Game Plus each and every time I did. Just to figure out everything that happened. And everything is planned by Ardyn callously. Now, we don't know what's going to happen in episode Ignis, but I think we could predict that it's going to be a lot darker than episode Prompto. Meaning that this time Ardyn's going to play with Prompto's emotions, Ignis's emotions so bad that it's not going to be funny. Like, it's going to get worse and worse. So, it's going to get much worse with that episode. As we can see a progression. Messing up Gladiolus' confidence. Messing with Prompto's psychological state. And you know what? I think Ardyn's going to be psychologically messing with Ignis when Ignis gets blind. That's the kind of twisted person Ardyn is. Remember, Ardyn killed his brother Azunia in cold blood with no emotion. No emotion. Didn't even feel any kind of sorrow. Just act like what he was doing was good. This is the kind of twisted human being Ardyn is. Now, time does make you twisted, but Ardyn was already there. That's why the Astrals wouldn't give the power to make Ardyn a Cid, which made him go through this journey. But maybe if we get a DLC with Ardyn's past, this would explain how he planned things. Not to mention, Ardyn has manipulated Emperor Idolus by spoon-feeding him information, thus caused all the wars between Niflheim and Insomnia and everything else, just to start the chaos to weed out the remaining last Lucius Caelum, Noctis, so he could get the ring. This is how twisted Ardyn is. He plans, he's the puppet master behind everything wrong. Even somewhat, he kind of is a puppet master of Ifrit, even though Ifrit trained him, and that's how Ardyn got a little bit more of his powers by training with Ifrit. He's also was able to manipulate Ifrit to help him on his quest. You know, Ardyn is a callous manipulator. You know, he's on some high-level manipulation stuff. This dude is the biggest evil and biggest troll of Final Fantasy. Like, this dude gets off to wars. So all the episodes, like episode Gladiolus, Prompto, and Ignis, he's had major involvement, just like he did with the original story, just like he did with the Niflheim Empire, just like he did with Insomnia. Everything is coming together. That's why these episodes are being released. The whole story that should have been in the game in the first place is coming together nicely. And remember, Ardyn has also cut off Ravis' arm with him looking like Noctis to show betrayal. This is how callous and evil Ardyn truly is. So that's my discussion video about Ardyn's involvement with all the episode Gladiolus and episode Prompto, and may the crystal be with you. And you should play these episodes. This will put more backstory to everything. May the crystal be with you.